High poverty in rural education, putting the puzzle pieces together. When you think about a puzzle, you think about pieces or parts being placed together to make a complete picture or end product. And we can look at high poverty in rural education and addressing it in a similar way. There are some strategies, or there definitely are some things that have to be put into place, have to be combined and connected in order to have an end result. And today we're going to talk about the challenges that exist. We're also going to talk about some strategies for change. And then lastly, we want to talk about the end product. What do we want to see at the end once we have put these things into place or strategies into place? Teaching in rural America. In rural areas, there exists a real challenge of adequately educating children. According to the NEA, there are 467 counties in the United States where at least 20% of the working age population lacks a high school diploma. 80% of these counties exist in rural areas, so many of the young adults do not graduate from school and receive their high school diplomas. Also, child poverty is higher in rural districts. 47% of urban counties have a high rate of child poverty in comparison to 64% in the rural counties. Some of the challenges that this presents are high teacher turnover, limited resources, the overall effects of poverty on students in rural education. And we will address and talk about all three of these in detail. Barriers to student achievement in rural schools, teacher recruitment and retention. When you reduce pay, we know that teachers in rural schools historically get paid less than teachers in urban schools, and that has a lot to do with the small population that they have within rural school districts and schools. Also, lack of opportunity for professional development and then professional isolation. Sometimes you may have only one math teacher, so he or she does not have anyone to collaborate with. So then they begin to have that feeling of being professionally isolated. Then we have poverty. Poverty within the school setting is determined by the number of students eligible for free or reduced lunch. The impact of poverty on rural students can be very crippling, and a lot of times the students have situational problems at home. Some examples of situational problems can be if a parent is a single parent, because a lot of the parents are single and students are coming from single parent household. He or she may have to work a lot and they may not be able to be present at home much. So that creates a problem. Also, just financial issues in trying to provide for the house. Some students of poverty in rural areas may not have enough food. So there are many situational problems that could occur at home that could impact the student when they come to school and their ability to learn. These factors can cause kids to internalize a sense of limited expectation, if not hopelessness. And like I said earlier, a lot of times they're just not even motivated to learn. They don't even want to learn because of so many issues and social and emotional issues stemming from home. Another barrier is limited resources. Rural schools have limited resources due to the small school population that results in limited state and federal spending dollars. Here are some things that we would like to see within our school in order to overcome challenges of poverty in rural education. The overarching goal is we will create a positive school culture and climate while focusing on relationship building. So everything will start with the people in the building. Well, number one, we're going to establish a leadership team with a shared vision. It's important that we start with leadership and the people on the leadership team having a positive outlook and believing that our students can learn in spite of their barriers, and also believing that our teachers can adequately educate our students in spite of their barriers. 2, we want to establish strong grade level teams and partner with neighboring schools to increase collaboration. So we want our grade level teams to be an extension of our leadership team. We want them also to be positive and to be believing in our students, in our teachers, and in one another. Then we said we wanted to partner with our neighboring schools to increase collaboration. So those grade levels where you may have only one teacher who's teaching a subject area, when we collaborate with other rural schools, we can bring all the math teachers together and they can form a PLC and they can collaborate and they can learn and they can grow professionally. And number 3, we want to develop focused professional learning communities. We want our learning communities to be focused on um, professional development activities such as the best reading strategies, the best math strategies, and maybe even a PLC as it relates to technology implementation. But whatever our data and whatever our plans um, tell us we need, we want our PLCs to be focused on those type of professional activities. Number 4, we want to partner with neighboring schools to maximize resources. We want to partner with community organizations and local universities to support our initiatives. And we also want to establish a grant writing team to support initiatives. There are many grants available specifically for rural schools. So we want to collaborate with our other neighboring rural schools and possibly apply for those grants, not at as one school, but as 2 or 3 schools in order to maximize our resources. And lastly, we want to foster effective teacher-student relationship. We want to start with those positive relationships with the leadership team, and we want to make sure that that positive culture and climate flourishes into our entire school, throughout our entire school building, and we're building those positive relationships with our students, and that will help address some of those social and emotional um, issues. And we definitely want to always remember to celebrate success. Putting the puzzle pieces together. There are 3 puzzle pieces that we want to ensure are in place in order to help us to be successful in helping our students to be able to achieve. Number 1, building those strong collaborative teams. And we've been talking about that already throughout our PD. Success will begin with us. Professional learning teams can help reduce teacher isolation and boost student achievement. Puzzle piece number 2, utilize data more effectively. As we work collaboratively, we must work together to ensure that our rural teachers and leaders, that we're being effective in the way we utilize our data, that we're allowing our data to drive our instruction, we're allowing our data to inform our instruction, and that we're just not doing things based upon happenstance, but we have data to support what we are doing and what we are implementing. Number 3, provide diverse and varied learning opportunities. When we plan for success, we must ensure that education isn't always a one size fits all. And closing the gaps in rural schools may require mirrored solutions. And that means not just one pathway to success, but we want to make sure we create multiple pathways to success. What might that look like? It may look like addressing different learning styles throughout our school building. It may also look like having opportunities for project-based learning. And lastly, it may require us to develop some specific learning plans for students who may not be achieving. What is our expected outcome? By creating a collaborative culture, we aim to decrease our teacher turnover rate and attract more quality teachers to our school. An example would be what occurred in Pike County School in Alabama where they created a collaborative culture, and teachers were actually requesting to be positioned at their school because they were seeing that they were experiencing success with their students and that the teachers were working collaboratively together. Our expected outcome as it relates to limited resources. We want to form those rural collaborative efforts in order for us to maximize our resources. We want to partner with our neighboring schools and other organizations. Our expected outcome as it relates to poverty. Through the use of ongoing collaboration and professional development, we want to address the social and emotional issues encountered by our students as a result of poverty. We want to see a decrease in our office referrals, a decrease in our absentees, a decrease, increase in our student achievement. And we will do this by using multiple forms of data to measure our effectiveness. We will continuously be looking at multiple forms of data to see if what we're doing is being effective. We also want to implement a school-wide book study. Poor Students, Rich Teaching, Mindsets for Change by Eric Jensen provides strategies on building positive relationships with students of poverty. We want to utilize this book as a catalyst for change throughout our school building. We want to build strong relationships not only with one another, but we also want to ensure that we're building those strong relationships with our students, and we're also teaching our students how to be collaborative as well. In closing, we have to remember that we're all pieces of the big puzzle. Just be the piece you are so you're doing your part to complete the picture. Together, we can achieve. Thank you.